Hello my friends, I'm Rich Larson and I'm the IRC Tire Guy. Today we wanted to go more in depth on hard enduro downhill technique. Now the past downhill technique video, which is linked in the description, is absolutely a great place to start. But I had a few guys ask, what can beginners do to be more comfortable in gnarly downhill situations before throwing themselves down a cliff? This got me thinking of different ways to train yourself to be more comfortable on those gnarly downhills before being on the downhill. So we've put together a few tricks to help you conquer your downhill fears. So starting out, and it was mentioned in the last downhill episode, it's your ability to balance your machine. Having that static balance on lock is an imperative technique for so many situations in hard enduro. The better balance you have, the better you can quickly commit to that safe position on your machine. Standing in attack position with both feet on the pegs, with your hips unlocked, fully controlling your machine. I say commitment to the pegs because that's where I see a lot of guys fail. A lot of times I see guys in awkward downhill positions, and their ability to get off the seat, stand up onto the pegs, and commit into the hill is the place where the problems start. Mentally, something happens to a lot of riders in sketchy downhill sections. They revert back to a seated position. It almost seems like they want to be closer to the ground because they know they're going to fall. When you're seated on a downhill, you automatically slide forward over the tank. All the weight is now off the rear tire and your stopping ability is heavily reduced. The only real braking ability you have is now all on your front tire. This is where I've seen guys lock up and knife the front end or even go over the bars. Mental commitment is such a huge part of the game in hard enduro. If you're half committed in the worst situations, your form suffers. If your form is suffering, your chance of making it also suffers. So how can you work on your commitment and be more controlled and comfortable in downhill situations? This is a fun game I play with the guys I'm teaching that you can make as easy or as hard as you want. Setting up two stationary points on a slight downhill. You can make the slope as steep as you want. Obviously, the more steep, the more challenging. Start perpendicular to the highest point and going as slow as you can, attempt to make as many 180-degree turns as possible before the second point. Basically simulating a downhill switchback section. This is a great way to practice before hitting the real thing. It's also a great warm-up game to play with you and your riding buddies. It not only helps smooth throttle and clutch control, it immensely increases your front and rear brake control as well as your downhill balance. As you increase the steepness, it increases your ability to commit into the hill. When I say committing into the hill, it's a common occurrence to see riders hesitate when turning down into a steep downhill. I've seen guys lose their balance and commonly dab towards the downhill, which if you're under 6'2", usually ends in a crash. Your ability to keep your feet on the pegs and stay balanced as you drop down into the hill is once again imperative. This 180-degree downhill turn training technique will absolutely help you in all facets of your riding. Balance, throttle, clutch, front and rear brake control, even increase your mental commitment. Again, it's all connected. Learning the first technique will help you learn the next technique. Learning the next technique will help you master the first technique. Make sure to subscribe for our weekly Wednesday videos, and I hope all these videos are helping you guys master the trails. Make sure to follow us at IRC Moto on Instagram and follow my personal Instagram page at RichLarson511. And until next time, keep shredding.